Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm not sure if we're fully live yet. I know there's always that pause, there's like this little pause before we go live, but I think actually probably I've waited too long. Now, good morning. Welcome to Rosemary Altea's kitchen. And what are we doing this morning? You're wondering, what are you doing in the kitchen, Rosemary? Well, guess what I'm doing in the kitchen? I am going to show you how to make my special cream cheese. Now, it should be peaches and cream cheese, but I went shopping yesterday. There were no peaches. Oh, wait, before we go into all of this, I'm forgetting myself. This morning, of course, as always, I have my spirit guide, Gregor, who is standing to my right side here. Chris, we have Chris. Where are you, Chris, at the moment?
Today I'm in Fredericksburg, Maryland.
Fredericksburg, okay. So Chris is having a nice little travelling weekend, going to visit all of her friends and family. But, surprise, surprise, as always in my kitchen, well, not always, but very often my daddy pops in because he used to love to cook in the kitchen. He taught me how to cook the best turkey. He also, I know you think it's a simple thing, but it isn't. Cooking turkey the right way is the most important thing. He also taught me how to make a delicious roast beef, and I'm not sure that he quite taught me how to cook a Yorkshire pudding. He didn't really give me the recipe necessarily, but he showed me how to sort of put it in the oven around the meat and so on and so forth. So I always look forward to, I always look forward to when he comes, and he's tapping me on the shoulder right now. But I am quite surprised because I didn't actually expect this, but I also have my brother Terry, who is come to share in our kitchen culinary exploits this morning. So in my kitchen, you can see we have lots of ingredients, but the most important ingredient, as far as I'm concerned, not just for in the kitchen, but the most important ingredient for life, is that we have our loved ones in the spirit world who are around us. And I'm going to be talking a little bit today as I'm making my cream cheese. It's not quite cooking, I have to say. When we think of cooking, we think of putting something in the oven, don't we? Nothing's going in the oven this morning, but because we are making our celebratory anniversary, 25-year anniversary dinner. This is Chris's idea. She thought, why not do it a little bit at a time? So our celebratory dinner, because I eat fish mostly, more than anything else, is going to consist of fish. But I might be suggesting other things as well. But we're going to do a 4-course dinner, celebratory dinner, beginning with what should have been peaches and cream cheese. Now, yesterday I went to the supermarket to get my fresh fruits, and I went with Grey Eagle, and we were looking, no peaches. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, there were peaches. I think they're called Florida peaches. They were small and hard and not at all what I wanted. And it is important to mention at this juncture in this little video that if you can buy fruits and vegetables that are in season and you buy them fresh, it's so much better, so they're so much more delicious. So no peaches and cream cheese this morning. However, let's get to the cheese first, and then I'll show you which fruits we have. So as you can see in my big white bowl here, I've already begun because so I'm going to actually give you the ingredients as we go along with this. So there's 8 ounces of just plain simple cream cheese, and there it is, just comes in a box, 8 ounces. I like to use Kerry Gold butter, Irish butter, because there's less liquid. There's less water in Irish butter than there is in any other kind of butter. So basically, it's a richer and it's a creamier butter. I have no idea why it is, but it is a fact, right? All right, so that's that. So we use 8 ounces of just plain simple cream cheese, 4 ounces of butter, and beat them together furiously. Now, because my machine is a noisy machine, I thought I'll do that. There we have it. Mix it all together until it's thoroughly beaten in together, and then what? Now, let me help you out here, because I am going to try, if I can, to sort of talk you through and give you the recipe as we're going along. So here it is. It's right up here. So we've got the cream cheese and we've got the butter. Now, a half a teaspoon of beau monde or brandy, however it is that you say it. If you look on Google, you can find the recipe. There is a recipe in my cookbook, but it's sort of basic. But beau monde is like it's a mix of salts and spices. You can buy it. You can go on Amazon or you can Google it and you get it online if you don't want to be bothered to buy all of the ingredients. And there are quite a few ingredients in beau monde. So if you don't want to buy all the ingredients and you just want to buy it ready mixed, it is really, really good if you do that too. So I've got here my half a teaspoon of beau monde, and I've also got, what else have I got in here? Oh yes, I've got herbes de Provence, in other words, some mixed Italian herbs. Actually, herbes de Provence are French herbs, but these are Italian mixed herbs. And how many teaspoons of that do we have? Yes, so we have half a teaspoon. You can play this back, don't have to write it down. Half a teaspoon of the herbs and a half a teaspoon of the beau monde. And I'm going to, what am I going to do with it? Oh, look, I'm going to just throw it in. There you go. This is the simplest, the easiest, but the most delicious cream cheese you'll have ever eaten in your life. I also have, now in the recipe in my cookbook, it says 1 to 2 cloves of crushed garlic. There's about 1.5 cloves in there. Let's throw those in as well, shall we? Let me use my, because otherwise I'm going to get smelly garlic. So I'm throwing this in. Can you see what I'm doing there, Chris?
We can see everything perfectly.
Oh, good, good. Because, we're not a professional, camera crew here. So we're just simply doing our best. Now, well, let's put this in. About 2 teaspoons of chopped parsley. I only had that much parsley. There's probably about maybe 1.5 teaspoons. In it goes. Are you saying, what is she doing? What is she doing? Now, when you do this and you beat the butter and the cream together, please, to make it easy on yourselves, just make sure that the butter is at room temperature, nice and soft, and also the cream cheese is at room temperature, because that way you can beat it in easier. So here is my beau monde, which I've mixed and ground myself. As I say, it's not, you might not want to buy, celery seeds, and you might not want to buy all of the different spices. So it's easy to obtain, go to Amazon or Google it or something. I've got here, so let me see, how much of this? Red wine vinegar, I think there's about 1/2 teaspoon. Oh no, there's 1/4 teaspoon of red wine vinegar. You think, well, why would you bother? But it does make a difference. And I put that in here, along with Worcester sauce, everybody. I know it says Worcestershire, and the Americans do love to say Worcestershire sauce, but actually we Brits, we just call it Worcester sauce. Let's see, how much of that have I got? 1/4 teaspoon of Worcester sauce. And I put that in here as well. And then what else? Oh yes. Well, in my recipe book, it suggests brandy, whiskey, or sherry. But we like to sort of, turn it up a notch from time to time. And I'm a port lover. And I've got this delicious, I was sort of looking in the cupboard and I came across this aged port. It's a really, really good port. And oh look, we've got let's see, 2 teaspoons of the port in there with everything else, and then we've got a little glass just for me. So cheers, everybody. We have to do that, don't we? Right. So, oh, when you drink port with a nice Cheshire cheese or a nice rich cheese. It's delicious. All right, so let's put all of this. So we've got Worcester sauce, red wine vinegar, and the port. It all mixed in there. Throw it all in, and there we have it. And now I'm going to come out of the camera for a little bit because it's not possible for me to do this on camera. As I've said, we've only got our one little camera here. But I'm going to show you, I don't know how much you can see that. Can you see that all? So
We can see that.
all in there. Now I'm going to put it in my fabulous Kenwood mixer with a beater paddle. You can do this by hand. It's very easy with a wooden spoon, as long as you make sure your butter and your cream cheese is soft. You can do it with a machine. You can do it with a hand machine. I just choose to do it in my big machine. So I'm going to go off camera, beat the heck out of this for at least 10 seconds or something, and I'll bring it back and show you then what we do with it. So I'm off camera, but you can still hear me, right? So as I said earlier, let's see. There, I'm putting back in and I'm going back out. I don't think that was even 10 seconds right there. And let's see. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Now, we've beaten all of that stuff together. I'm just checking to make sure that I didn't miss an ingredient, which I don't think I did. So let's just look at that. Now I like to get every little bit off, but I know that we are sort of, paying attention to time here. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to lick that later. And here it is, all mixed in. How clear can you see that, Chris? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can see that good, Rosemary.
So
You have
I'm
a bunch
still,
of people on saying, "Oh, good morning" to you.
Good morning, everybody. So now here's the trick with this cream cheese. It will be, I guarantee you, it's going to be, I'm not doing this very nicely, very neatly, but it's going to be probably the best cream cheese you've ever eaten. However, unfortunately, when you're making this for yourself to eat, it needs to be left overnight, well, at least for 12 hours. So if you make it in the morning, early in the morning, you can have it ready for the dinner party that night. I have tried it at 6 hours. I'm thinking to myself one time when I made it, you know what, 6 hours is going to be long enough. But remember, it's got dried herbs in here. And so you've got to let everything sort of, got to have a taste, haven't you? Let everything infuse together. I've tried it at 6 hours and it's okay. But I have to be honest and say that overnight it changes. It literally, or that 12 hours, if you leave it for that 12 hours, it just changes. It becomes more, it gets better and better. Everything melds together, everything infuses together. And so we're not going to quite leave it for 12 hours. In fact, I'm going to try a little bit of this, but I know that it won't be nearly as good. But okay, so that is your cream cheese. So when you're doing this properly for yourselves, just cover it with a little bit of cling film and look how much it makes. I don't know how much it costs, but half a pound of butter, some cream cheese, so that you've got something like $5 right there, maybe $6, and a few little bits of everything else, so $7 maybe, if that, to be honest. It'll last you, well, it'll do for a whole dinner party. Let's say you've got 12 people for dinner, this will do it. So as I said, let's go back 1 second. So I'm listening to my daddy, who just wants to put his finger in here and taste it. He's laughing. He knows he's had it before. My brother's blowing me kisses, I must tell you. So I'm having fun in my kitchen today. Oh yes, look, see? Can you read it, Chris?
What part of "it's not ready yet" don't you understand?
I love to greet my guests with this, right? So when they come in and they're expecting to sit down for dinner, what part of it's not ready yet? Don't you understand? You want one of these for your kids, don't you, all of you out there listening? So my brothers are laughing at this and pointing this out to me. So I'd forgotten that I'd got it on until my brother reminded me. So I've got my family in the spirit world with me today. You can have your family in the spirit world with you too today. Now, all you have to do is listen. Oh, yes, I know it's easy for me to say and not so easy for you to do. But if you ask a simple question of your loved ones, for instance, I'm asking Greg, or did I put enough salt in there? And he's telling me it's perfect. Did I put enough sherry in there? He's laughing. I have to have another sip of sherry. There's enough in here, but not so much in here. So we're all having fun in our kitchen. So you can bring your family in the spirit world with you into the kitchen if you would like to, or you can simply focus on making this delicious cream cheese. Now, so cover it, leave it for at least 12 hours is my advice. So make it first thing in the morning and it'll be ready, by the time you want dinner, or just leave it in overnight. I like to cook things if I'm having a dinner party. I love to be able to cook some things or make some things that I don't have to do that day because there's so much of everything else to do that day. What are we going to have? I couldn't find peaches, so I got a pair or two. There's some more. Pears are my favourite. And I also got a cantaloupe. So I'm going to just cut these up because even though the cream cheese is not quite ready yet, I still want to taste it. So I'm just going to cut a quarter of this. And there we have it. And I'm going to get a spoon, what we in England call a dessert spoon. I'm sure you do the same thing in America. I've got a little bin here, so I'm going to just, if you can see can you see what I'm doing? I'm just sort of scraping. The cantaloupe is so ripe. You can keep these seeds if you want, but I'm dumping mine. It's so nice and juicy here. So, okay, that's good. And I'm going to do some slices. You don't want them too thick, but at the same time, these are for your guests. So, you do want them to, have a taste. You can, if you would like, cut them up into cubes, but I actually think that they're nicer looking on the plate if you sort of have the slices. And people can pick up the slice, literally spread with the cream cheese. I know you, right? I would always take off the skin. So with my very sharp knife, I'm going to do that, but you don't have to. And kids, if you give kids a slice of this cantaloupe and and let them just go off into the garden, they'll come back again and again and again for more and more and more. So I'm going to sort of just do these few slices because this, I have to tell everybody, is my lunch. I actually shan't be eating the cream cheese because I'm being a good girl and I am going to wait. Come on, you. There. So, okay, so let's do that. While I'm doing this, Chris, have we got any questions? Anybody got any questions or comments so far with this recipe?
No questions about the recipe yet, but everybody's saying hello. So we have Sharon on and Megan. Sandra's writing from Italy. John, Karen saying good morning. Christine, Robin, Eric.
you know, I'm thinking we've got all these people from all these different parts of the world. You know, when I make this cream cheese, I suggest peaches, nectarines. Some people like plums. Some people think it's a great recipe to dip strawberries in. Any kind of fruit works, but when we've got all these people from all these wonderful different countries, of course, I mean, I wonder what kind of fruits they have. I personally do not like kiwi. Hold on one second. I'm off camera just for a second because I need to. I think it's time for another sip of port. What do you think, Chris?
Karen's wondering, what crackers would you use?
Oh, you can, any kind of crackers. You could have whole wheat crackers. You can have Ritz crackers. You can make your own crackers. Any kind of crispy crackers. Anything really. You could, you know, you could sort of use this cream if you get some smoked salmon. There's nothing nicer than smoked salmon and cream cheese. So, you know, you can get smoked salmon and cream cheese and spread the cream cheese and roll up the salmon. So you could pretty much have it with anything. Now, what am I doing with this pear? This is a Bartlett pear. These are my favorites. I love, love, love pears. When I put them on a plate, I'm going to take that bit off because I don't want to store. But when I put them on a plate, what I do like to do is I like to keep the skin on. If you're a person who doesn't like the skin on, you see what I'm doing here? I'm taking the seeds out. You know, if you're a person who likes to sort of not have the skin on, then just, you know, just skin them then. Look, it might be my recipe, but what I tell people and what I love to tell people is, you know, to play with it. What I try to do, somebody gave this recipe, not this recipe, somebody gave a recipe to me with cream cheese, and I made it exactly as they gave it to me. And then I, having tasted it, decided, I wonder what it would be like with some sherry or port or brandy or something in it, which what they didn't have in their recipe. I wonder if what it would be like with some Worcester sauce in it or Worcestershire sauce in it. So I tried a little of this, and I like to play around with things. I like to sort of see if I can bring my recipes up to the next level, and this recipe absolutely really does do that. So I'm going to slice these pears, and as you can see, I hope you can see, I'm not slicing them thin, but I am sort of slicing them, you know, enough so that if necessary, people can, you know, pick it up with their hands. If I were doing this as an appetizer and we were sitting at the table with the appetizer, I'd make a big plate of it, put it in the center, and let everybody just dig in and help themselves. But you can either spread the cheese on ready, assuming that people don't know what to do with it, or as I do, I would, look.
We might need to see that on camera, Rosemary.
Hold
we can't
on one
see.
second.
Okay.
Give me 1 second here.
You have a couple of questions.
I'm so tempted to just eat this pear, but then I wouldn't be able to talk to people, would I? So I think the pear looks nice if you've got the skin still left on it. I don't know if my darling boy is watching. He said that he might be watching this morning. So this is for you, baby. Oh, Bartlett pears are the best. But again, yum. So here we go. So here we have it. Can you see that, Chris?
Oh, that looks beautiful. Yeah, hold it up, and then we can see the whole thing. There we go.
We are. Make sure if you can find a nice platter. Looks pretty, right?
It
But
does
if you
look
can
pretty.
do different kinds of fruit, if you put some strawberries in there, you'd have a little pop of red and so on. So then this is what I would do with all of this. Somewhere in this drawer, I've got a little butter knife or cheese spread knife or whatever. And then I've got my Okay. Let's see. We know that it's not ready. We know that it's not really, we shouldn't really eat it yet. We know that in 12 hours time it's going to be 1,000 times better. But I just can't resist. And hey, why would I resist? I'm going to take a piece of pear. Well, actually, I just had a piece of pear. So let me have a little piece of cantaloupe. I'm going to break it off and spread it. Now, if you wanted to, you could take a piece of fruit, lay it on people's plates individually and spread it so that all they have to do is get a fork and eat it, because I'm using my fingers. Are we ready? Have you questions ready now? Because we've got time for questions. Mm. 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 Sorry. We've got that delicious, juicy, sweet and savoury taste all together. And I know absolutely that it's going to be, that cream cheese is going to be so much better in 12 hours time. The truth here is that you can, as somebody suggested, what kind of crackers? Any kind of crackers. You know, I think if you go onto my channel, my Rosemary Altea in the Kitchen channel, I think I show you how to make pita chips with seasoned garlic salt. That would work perfectly for this. Regular crackers, if you don't want to make them yourself, so whole wheat crackers, your favorite crackers, it works with anything. Anything that you can think to put cream cheese on is perfect for this. Smoked salmon and cream cheese is perfect for this. This recipe for cream cheese is one that you will not be able to buy. You will not be able to find it. But look how easy it was. And as long as you sort of get all your ingredients ready together, and you've got your butter and your cream cheese softened, beat it up with a hand beater or even with a wooden spoon or whatever. It doesn't have to be, you know, there's no skill to it really. Just make sure that you mix the butter and the cheese together well. There's really no skill to this. Just throw it all in and bingo, you've got the best and the most delicious recipe that you could possibly imagine that you could have. So cheers to my cream cheese. This is going to be my appetizer for my celebratory dinner. Not that particular one, because I'm going to be eating that one way before we have the celebratory dinner. You can, believe it or not, freeze it, but don't freeze it for too long, and make sure that when you do unfreeze it, that you make sure that it's at room temperature. Also, when I keep it in the fridge for 12 hours, I bring it out at least a half an hour, maybe a little bit longer, before people are going to dig into it, because it is sort of, when it's slightly soft, it's much more flavorful. But hey, you make it, you get the idea, you'll get the hang of it. Over to you, Chris. How are we doing this morning?
Well, Dean says, I am so hungry now. I thought that sherry was coming back up.
It's not sherry, it's port.
I'm sorry, port. You know me, I don't drink, so don't listen to me.
It's delicious. It's aged port. I'm not sure that I would normally be drinking at this hour in the morning. However, I'm not driving anywhere today, so that's good, right?
Absolutely. Keith says, love your abilities and your good spirit since I first saw you on TV here in America back in 1998 or 1999.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks, Keith. But
And he also
remember,
says,
as you're talking to me, I've still got Gregor here. I'm having a little bit more of this. I've still got Gregor here. I've still got my daddy here. I've still got my brother here. Unexpected as my brother is, because I certainly didn't expect him to be here, and I'm thrilled to bits that he's here. When you're cooking, don't forget, bring your family in. When you're shopping, bring your family in. As I said, Gregor came with me to the grocery store yesterday, and I'm saying to him, oh, no peaches, what can I do? And he took me and pointed out the melon, which actually is delicious with this. I've never tried melon with it before, but it's really delicious. But Gregor was very helpful in that way. The pears I have tried before. So talk to your people, talk to your family in the spirit world. allow them to be included in what you're doing. Keep going, Chris.
Christine, who's from Texas, says blueberries are one of my favorite fruits, but we also have cantaloupe, apples, pears, and more.
Well, you see, here's my deal. So I'm not allowed to eat berries of any description, of any kind. I'm not allowed to eat oranges. There are many, many fruits that I actually personally can't eat because they're dangerous for me. You might be saying, how can fresh fruit be dangerous for anybody? And I'll give you one little word: oxalates. It's like an enzyme or something that often, especially darker skinned fruits have, oranges have. Strangely enough, zatsumas do not have, clementines do not have, but oranges have oxalates. And they're very dangerous for me and anyone who's having kidney issues. They're very dangerous in that regard. Cantaloupe is great, pear, yes. But if you want to use berries, and if you make sure that, when you bring this cream cheese out of the refrigerator and that it's sort of, you get it soft enough, you can literally put it in a little dish on each plate of each guest that you have, and a few berries and a few bits and pieces, and use it as a dip and let them dip their berries in there. So it's a long time since I've had blueberries. I'm not allowed. I can't have strawberries either. It's all right. I survive. I eat what I can eat. Chris.
How about you pull that plate closer to you so we can keep looking at it and drooling while we talk? There we go.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Eric wants to know, would it be good with apricots or mango also?
Oh, gosh, yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, mango. Can you see it better now?
Yes.
I've raised it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, yes, try it with anything that you've got. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What have you lost? You've still got a whole lot of cream cheese you can put with crackers, and you've still got your fruit. So, I just find that it pairs better with some things. For me, we're talking about my taste buds, and in my cookbook. Oh, do you want to see my cookbook? It's right here somewhere. In my cookbook, hold on one second because I'm coming apart here. Just a second. I really should take this apron off because, it says what part of it's not ready, don't you understand? And of course it is ready now, but hey, never mind. So in my cookbook, I make it really clear. There it is. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
It's what's it called? It's called, I have to think, Rosemary's Kitchen, and it's a family cookbook. It's myself, my daughter, my grandson. Look on the back, everybody. This is the picture I really love. Can you see that, Chris?
Yeah, we can see.
Christmas cake. There you go, Dean. That's how Christmas cake should look. If you want to know more about what we're cooking in Rosemary's Kitchen, please go to the YouTube channel and look for Rosemary Altea in the kitchen, or Rosemary's Kitchen, whatever. You'll find all sorts of different things that I show you how to make. But yes, just experiment. In my book, I make it clear. Just because somebody gives you a recipe doesn't mean that you can't improve on it. And, everybody's tastes are different. Everybody's taste buds are different. For instance, you might like a little more garlic in this cheese, or you might like a little less in. When you add incrementally tiny little things, because once it's in, you can't take it out. So add incrementally and keep tasting in between. Yes, Chris?
Sharon says the best part of cooking is putting in your own twist, where baking can be more precise.
Well, I always think that I must have a very large ego. I try not to have, but whenever anybody gives me a message, my first thought, and I can't help myself, but my first thought is, I wonder if I could improve that, and how could I improve on it? So I'm always looking to sort of improve on recipes, or as Sharon says, put your own twist on it. which is what we try to do, don't we? And then all of a sudden, a recipe that was given to you then becomes your own, because the twist in this recipe is the added brandy. The twist on this recipe is the added Worcestershire sauce, and maybe a little more garlic that was in the original recipe. So, you know, we've got twists and things all over the place in here.
Sandy says, hello, have you reached out to Gordon Ramsay yet? I can't wait to see Psychic Cooking with Rosemary Altea and Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, well, I don't know that he believes in this stuff, but he is, without a doubt, my favourite. A close second, of course, is James Oliver. But Gordon Ramsay, you know, I love his F word. We all know that Gordon Ramsay swears, but when he does the program F word, the F stands for food. And I do wish that he wouldn't curse quite so much, but at the same time, he's a brilliant chef and I love him. I'm not sure that he would love me, but I just love him. And he gives tips that are so amazing when he's cooking. And he's just such a lot of fun, I think. Chris?
Joanne says, thanks for your time and the recipe.
You're very welcome. You can see what I'm going to be doing when I come off of here. Do we have any other questions or comments, Chris?
Keith says, bon appetit.
Bon appetit to all of you. So I think, you know, we're done in the kitchen, right, Chris?
Yes.
So please, all of you, thank you for joining me. I hope you try this. I hope you make this for yourself. It's such an easy thing to do. I promise you don't have to be a cook to do it. Just follow it. Follow the recipe. Throw it all in together. And then after 12 hours, enjoy. I'm going to just take the piece that I didn't bite and just dip it in there. Look, see, I can't wait for 12 hours, can I? So please, all of you, have a very, very lovely and a blessed Sunday. I'm now going to be making my chicken salad, which I think you can find on YouTube somewhere, on my Rosemary Altea in the kitchen. And perhaps not any more of this, because otherwise, you know, I won't be able to stand up the rest of the day. So please, all of you out there, have a very, very blessed rest of the day. Tomorrow, I will be with you doing my Motivational Monday. And if anybody wants to be motivated by anything, email us, Chris, K-R-I-S, at rosemaryaltea.com. What do you want to be motivated about? We'll talk about it tomorrow on Motivational Monday. On Tuesday, what are we doing on Tuesday, Chris? I've forgotten.
Tuesday's the day where you're just going to pop in at some time.
We're going to be doing
off the cuff
stuff on Tuesday. Wednesday, we are definitely doing our Healing Wellness Wednesday, which I shall be showing you how to create the energy that you will need to give healing to yourself and also to others. Thursday morning, of course, we're doing our Everything is Attitude show at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
No,
Friday,
that one's the Spirit World Sees All on Thursday.
Oh, what did I say?
Everything is Attitude. Hey, let's face it, that falls right into it, doesn't it?
It does. The Spirit World Sees All. That cheese is really delicious. Sorry. Friday, we do have a guest who's coming on to do an exercise with me, a volunteer. I'm going to be very gentle and very kind. I'm going to show you all how you too can do the bottom break. We are at some point in the week going to be doing the exercise of the 3 chairs, which any one of you can do, and I want you to try. And on Saturday, we're right back around to our story time. And
no, Rosemary, this coming Saturday is the big event, May 8th.
Oh, sorry. We will not be doing story time on Saturday. We will be doing our webinar where we're going to be talking to the spirit world, Grey Eagle and I, and I'm going to be giving messages to everybody. We're going to be talking to the spirit world. So everybody who's joined in that webinar, what you need to do is to email us. Just mention one person you might like to connect with and one issue or one problem or one little bit of guidance that you would like help with. If we manage to connect with that person, email it again, Chris, K-R-I-S, to rosemaryaltea.com, at rosemaryaltea.com. So we're going to be doing that next Saturday. And then a week from today, oh, Parmesan encrusted fish. That's our second course in our celebratory dinner. Blowing kisses to my brother. I haven't seen him in ages and ages and ages. It's lovely to have him here with us. I'm surprised and thrilled. I'd like to say grateful for his input. I'd like to say, Chris, thank you, Chris, and to my daddy who's giving me a kiss on the cheek as we're leaving you all. I think they're all going to stay around with me today, perhaps to help me to finish off all of this fruit and stuff. In the meantime, everybody out there, please keep watching. Be prepared for me to pop in, and please have a very, very blessed rest of your weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.